I have to tell you, the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing, they deserve each other, quite honestly. I mean, I know very little about it except there was poop in a shoe or poop in the bed.
It was on a bed, yeah.
Maybe the shoe was on the bed. I thought it was...
The shoe may have been on the bed.
There may have been poop in the bed and poop in a shoe. I'm not really sure. I don't really care. It is fascinating to watch this thing play out, though, because most Americans, not the smarter Americans, just care so deeply about Johnny Depp or Amber Heard or blah, blah, blah. Well, I read the first article that I cared about from Azra Nomani, who is a frequent guest on this program, good friend of the program. She wrote it in The Federalist, how the Washington Post and ACLU helped Amber Heard attack Johnny Depp. Listen to this because it's amazing. Azra is on with us now. Hi, Azra. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you? You can hear me clinking away while I warm some water so I don't cough through the interview. Yes.
Well, thank you for being on with me.
Absolutely.
What a great article. Can you lay this out? Because I don't think most people even know any of this.
Yeah. Important. And I'm glad that you had a full disclosure that you don't care, on the celebrity front.
I don't.
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely cool. But the thing is, this is so important as a window into money, politics, and Hollywood. Okay?
Right.
That's what's so critical here. So what we have playing out is are two celebrities, right, with a terrible relationship, both of them, unhealthy.
Yeah, deeply broken, both.
Deeply broken, exactly. And so, our humanity has to extend to all people.
Sure.
Well, then what we have is a nonprofit, a quote-unquote nonprofit, right? The ACLU, 501c3, multi-million-dollar organization, right, that has lost its way, according to even an Atlantic article this last week, taking advantage of this story and catapulting then Amber Heard to become their poster girl for women's rights.
Okay, so now they did this. Didn't she say that she was giving, I think, $3 million to the ACLU from the divorce settlement, right?
Yes.
And she only gave like $500,000, and then others started to pay for her. But
yeah. So what I did is, to back up a little bit, right? As you are, we've written op-eds, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know how they are written. We know how they are placed. We know how they are promoted. So what I did is I just analyzed how it is that Amber Heard's op-ed appeared in the Washington Post, and I broke it down into 6 phases. And the first phase was establishing her credibility. Because, at the end of every op-ed, you have 2 lines that are in italics, and they establish who the person is and why they are a subject matter expert, right? So what happened is that Amber Heard, her italics says that she is now, working as this ACLU women's rights advocate. Well, it was a classic pay-to-play operation where she said that she was going to donate her $7 million of divorce settlement, this altruistic act to the ACLU and a children's hospital in L.A. But indeed, just as you just said, she only donated a very small portion, and then the court testimony reveals that, in fact, Johnny Depp paid $100,000 directly to the ACLU because he's like, why have a middleman, in this operation if she's going to be so altruistic? And then who does she end up also having donate? She had none other than her next boyfriend, Elon Musk. And so that's the first phase. She established her credibility, and the ACLU established her credibility. But behind the scenes was this classic pay-to-play.
And explain what happened there.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so they've established her as a ambassador for women's rights. And now they have, I'm going to take people back to the fall of 2018. It's a long time ago, but just think about, we have President Trump, in office. So think about that. He's been in office a couple of years now. We have just had, Betsy DeVos named early on in the administration.
Yep.
And we have this little thing called Title IX. And that was a very controversial issue. It's supposed to have given women equal rights in schools, right? But what happened is that through politics, it ended up becoming a hit job, which is a term that you're going to hear again, on men oftentimes on college campuses, where they were not given due process.
Right.
And so you're going to hear a theme here now, because what they did is in November 2018, a communications staffer for the ACLU sends a pitch to Amber Heard's PR person and says, hey, wouldn't it be great if Amber Heard wrote an op-ed? And Title IX was one of the issues that this communications staffer said.
And let me actually quote that memo. I'd like
please.
and Amber's thoughts on doing an op-ed in which she discusses the way in which survivors of gender-based violence have been made less safe under the Trump administration and how people can take action. If she feels comfortable, she can interweave her personal story, saying how painful it is as a gender-based violence survivor to witness these setbacks.
Yes.
Okay.
So so you and I know as writers, and I'll give folks context that I taught writing the reported op-ed at Georgetown University to students. So I've been writing op-eds myself for 20 years, and I taught it. And one of the first things that I always taught students, as you know too, Glenn, is give people a personal connection.
Correct.
That's exactly what they did. And I didn't study my rhetoric, but later in life I learned pathos, ethos, logos, right? So you have to have logic, you have to have rationality, and you have to have the personal story. And that's what they then grabbed for Amber Heard to amplify.
So I've got about 3 minutes to finish this story, but so the writer, the ACLU writes back, tried to gather your fire and your rage and really interesting analysis and shape that into op-ed form. I hope it sounds true to you. Yes. Your lawyers should review this for the way I skirted around talking about your marriage. So she didn't write it. It was presented to her.
Yes. And then the rest of the story, it's so important, is the ACLU communication staff pitched it to Michael Larrabee, op-ed editor at the Washington Post. He should have known better. They should have known better. And they are complicit in this hit job on Johnny Depp. And this is not just about celebrity, but this is about the abuse of power by a nonprofit organization and a journalism operation. A complete breach of ethics. There's no transparency in who wrote this piece. And if any one of my students had presented an assignment written by another student, they would have failed, right?
Right.
And so they owe Johnny Depp an apology, their readers an apology, and they should just retract the op-ed. But it's an important critical window into how it is that these special interest groups place their quote subject matter experts in there to push their own talking points.
Azra Namani, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Glenn.
The Washington Post did publish this in their opinion section under the headline, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath, and that has to change.